Back here in Lagos, the countdown to the 7-day eviction notice served on traders on the Apongbon section of the Eko Bridge is gradually winding down. But the traders are still appealing to the state government to come up with an alternative spot for them. Sarah Eko reports on this.
Less than 24 hours to the expiration of a 7-day ultimatum, traders have shelved days of protest to remove their goods and property around and under the Apongbon section of Eko Bridge. The fire incident, which erupted at about 2 a.m. last Wednesday, reduced a once busy market to ashes. Traders looking lost. Some are standing around the debris, uncertain of what the future holds. It's a race against time. In the midst of the chaos, one of them tell me, they are coming tomorrow. We don't have much time. If they meet us here, they will take everything. On Monday, during the government inspection of the damage on the Eko Bridge, traders drawn from 6 market associations had tried appealing to the government to rescind the ultimatum, but that didn't seem to work. Stationed under the bridge is an army vehicle and personnel on hand to enforce the directive.
We are ready to obey them. There's nothing we can do. Nobody is more than the government. We have no power. We just have to obey them and remove all the containers. And that's what you can see we are doing now. There's no space on the Lagos Island that they can provide for all those people here. But we just have to obey them. The laws comes first before any other thing. So we just have to obey them. There's nothing we can do. So we are still appealing. If they can still reconsider us. That's why we are doing all this. It's not as if we are saying we don't agree. We don't agree, we don't accept. But we are appealing to them to please consider us.
The Eko Bridge has since been shut, with motorists along the 3rd mainland bridge and adjoining bridges having to spend longer hours in traffic. The 7-day ultimatum was given to all traders and illegal occupants under the bridges in Lagos and other parts of Nigeria. But it remains to be seen whether, while Apongbon Ibutero is cleared, will the government go ahead to enforce this order in other affected areas. Sarah Eko, TVC News, Lagos.
Beginning on a sad note from Niger State, where at least 7 bodies have been recovered and about a dozen people still missing after a boat carrying mostly women and children capsized in the Guni-Zumba River. The victims had been trying to escape terror attacks on Guni and Korugabu communities in Monia local government area of the state. The attacks, which were said to be simultaneous, forced the people, mostly women and children, to flee to safety in an overloaded boat, which later capsized. No one has so far been rescued, and it is feared that all on board the boat may have died. In a reaction, Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello has condemned the attack. He says is grieved at the needless loss of lives, and in a condolence message described the deaths of the Guni-Zumba River as painful and disturbing. He condoled with the family members of the deceased and the entire people of Monia local government area. Condemning the unprovoked attacks on innocent citizens in the communities, the governor emphatically stated that no matter how hard the criminals sustain their activities, the government remains steadfast in its efforts to end criminality in the state. He urged the joint security operatives to be more proactive in their operations and also directed the State Emergency Agency to immediately commence search and rescue operations and also cater to the rest of the people in the affected communities. The challenge of insecurity also runs down to Kaduna State, where armed terrorists have allegedly kidnapped at least 2 persons in Zaria local government area. The assailants were said to have stormed Zaria Low Cost, located at the outskirts of Zaria town at about 10 p.m. on Wednesday night. It was gathered that the terrorists shot sporadically in the air before whisking away their victims. This comes barely 48 hours after terrorists attacked a train on the Kaduna-Abuja route, leaving at least 8 people dead, 26 injured, while several others are still yet to be found. And in the Federal Capital Territory, a conference of civil society groups and the military has ended with a result of faster, better cooperation between security forces and the society. According to the organizers, better cooperation will generate actionable intelligence needed to tackle the nation's security challenges. Sifon Isien reports.
It's 2 days after the Kaduna train attack and there's a dire need for better security in the country. This group in Abuja is emphatic that improved cooperation between security forces and members of the society is a better option in tackling the security challenges the country is faced with.
That CIMICO is a veritable vehicle which will foster speedy and sustained end to the insecurity challenges in Nigeria, as all hands will come on deck to address the touchy issues involved in the war against the nefarious forces besetting the country.
The benefits, according to the group, is that better cooperation would provide a platform for improved intelligence gathering, a situation that will shore up the capacity of security forces to respond to threats.
To galvanize nationwide cooperation between the civil society, the military, and the security community has been recorded in order to enhance information gathering and transmission to up the ante and empower the military and security forces with superior advantage in dealing with the menaces of violence, insurgency, terrorism, and other forms of insecurity.
It's not the first time that meetings or conferences will be held on improving cooperation between security forces and members of the society. But what happens afterwards is the big question. Sifon Essien, TVC News, Abuja.
And for a deeper look into Nigeria's security situation and possible solutions, the security and intelligence expert Adams Abo joins me from Akure, the Ondo State capital. Thank you so much for joining us on TVC Midday News. I know you must have been following the issues of terrorism, insecurity challenges, and some other kidnapping situations, in and around the country. What has been your reading of the security situation in Nigeria as a whole?
I think my view is we are today because over time, not just this administration, governments of the past were not taking security threats seriously as at then. And gradually, we began with the Northeast, and we got ourselves tied to the Northeast, not believing that they could come up in another place. And today we are starting from Zamfara to Niger, now Kaduna, and of course, it's going like that way. Hopefully, and I mean, God forbid, southward. But that is not to say that there are no other criminal activities such as kidnappings, ritual killing, and so on in other parts of the country. It is not because we have not been doing something about it. And I think the only thing is that what we have been doing about it had not been enough to neutralize the threat that we have, and that is why it continued to escalate based on so many factors.
Well, we just also read a little earlier that the challenge of insecurity, in Kaduna State is where we had some assailants were said to have stormed Zaria Low Cost, located at the outskirts of Zaria town. That's about 10 p.m. on Wednesday, abducting some victims. Yes. This was actually coming 48 hours after the Abuja Kaduna train bombing and all of the things that happened around. But we also got information that the Abuja Kaduna train bombing, security forces actually failed to act despite intelligence on planned attack. So what would you say about receiving intel about anything that's going to happen, and it looks like those who were supposed to take action are not taking action? This tragedy was avoidable, wasn't it?
Well, I think I do not want to agree to that. There was intel available to the military and they did not act. I don't want to believe that. And again, I also want to say that there are several threats, planned attacks that have been, neutralized without even the public knowing. So when people talk about inadequate intelligence, it's because others have come up and they know about it. The one they don't know, they cannot tell. But let me say this. There is no member of the security forces that will go outside there and will not want to come back alive. he will not want to do anything that, that he will not return to his family. But don't forget that they are facing people that life does not make any difference to them. When people are saying, let us do this, let us do that, the bandits, let me call them, or the terrorists as they are now by law, all of them are terrorists. These are people that who had nothing before. Let's say those that their cattle have been lost and they have gone into banditry, and now they can kidnap and collect millions of naira in less than 2 days operation and so on. So thinking that they will be going back, which is not. I mean, I don't even expect anybody to think about it. But however, the government, I think last year, the governor of Kaduna State, he postulated a particular solution that I agree with. We are in let us not deceive ourselves that we are not in a war situation. We are in a war situation. And when you are in a war situation, what do? You do massive recruitment. These guys are many. I mean, they are more than the population of all our own security forces put together. Before you talk of ISWAP, you talk of Boko Haram, you talk of bandits, you talk of all manner of things. So let us believe that we are in a war situation. Let government believe we are in a war situation. Do a lot of constant and regular recruitment to make up our personnel, and then inquire. In security, there's something we call security convergence. Security convergence is an application of various security systems to achieve to achieve the peace or the orderliness that you want to achieve. Right. When they are talking about ISSM, the ISSM we want to acquire, have we talked about the security of the ISSM itself? Don't forget that some years back, we put some cameras in Abuja. You and I know that I don't think they worked for 2 months. And today, they're virtually vandalized. So we should be putting those things in place, right, while we are thinking of what to acquire, what not to acquire. Right, very quickly. That is the way I want to look at it.
Very quickly, from the account of some of the victims, they said that some of these assailants were, some of them spoke languages that are not native to Nigeria, that it appears that some of these guys were from other countries. So what does this say about manning our borders? And also, would you also agree that we should employ the service of mercenaries who would help us to fight this terrorists, so to speak?
Well, thank you. Let me start from the mercenaries. I think, I don't know whether it's in Congo or Kenya where they engaged these Russian mercenaries. How successful had it been? And when you talk about hearing from, foreign languages, nobody should be surprised, because the whole of West Africa is being bombarded by these terrorists, apart from few countries. And why those ones succeeded is because they dealt with the situation immediately. Those people were manifesting. But let me add this: there is no foreign terrorists on this land, or bandits as they want to call them literally, that will succeed without the success of those that are on ground with us here. So for me, all of them, both foreign and what, they have a common objective: to come and cause damage, make as much money as they can, and then bring in more people. The borders we are talking about, we have talked about over the years, but it's not something, and I don't see, let's talk about this border. How many other members of, for instance, AU or ECOWAS are also policing their borders to make sure that bandits or criminals don't infiltrate from their country into another person's country? They will be happy that they are leaving their country and moving to another person. So it is we that we are supposed to still make every effort we can. But I want to add this to Nigerians. We are whether we like it or not, we are in a situation of war, and all of us should be ready to commit our resources, our ideas, our thinking, our whatever we can to support the security forces. All right. But I want to advise government. I want to advise government finally that they must increase the capacity of security men in terms of personnel, in terms of modern technology. Right. They should continue to do so.
Right, a security and intelligence expert, Adams Abo, joining me from Akure, Ondo State Capital. Thank you so much for your insight on TVC News.
My pleasure being with you. Thank you.
The newly elected national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Adamu, has taken over from his predecessor. The 7th senator, who is a supporter of President Muhammad Buhari, was also a former governor of Nasarawa State. Mr. Adamu received the mantle of leadership from the former chairman, Mai Malabuni, at the party's headquarters in Abuja. Habida Lawal reports.
After several postponements, the APC last weekend held its elective national convention at Eko Square in Abuja. At the end of the exercise, 77 national officers emerged, with Abdullah Adamu becoming the national chairman of the party, while Iyola Omishori was elected as the national secretary. Majority of them were elected through a consensus list adopted by President Muhammadu Buhari, governors and other leaders of the party. Of the 36 officers in the NWC, only 5 were contested while the rest emerged through consensus. Newly elected national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullah Adamu, has been officially handed the leadership of the party. He urged other executive members to imbibe the virtue of loyalty to the party.
Failure is not going to be in our vocabulary from today. We will work for success by the grace of God. If any of you, my colleagues, have any problems with me, please don't begrudge me. Throw it out open. Let me know. I promise you, the spirit of collective leadership, teamwork, I cannot deliver alone.
As members of the National Working Committee of this party, you have an Herculean task before you. First, to sustain the gains, and obviously, you know, the task before you is enormous. But that cannot be without problems here and there. But by and large, we have succeeded. We can say we have recorded 70% success.
Governor of Yobe State, Maimala Buni, who has been at the helm of the party affairs for about 22 months, handed over today. Maimala Buni had faced some challenges as the chairman caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee of the party in the last few months. The new leadership says it will effect lasting reconciliation among members so as to go into the general election a united house. Habib Alawal, TVC News, Abuja.
And the Nigerian Senate has directed all pay TV service providers to immediately review their bouquet prices downwards in tandem with the prevailing economic realities in Nigeria. The upper legislative chamber strongly kicked against the intended hike in subscription fees by pay TV providers following a motion moved by the Benue South lawmaker, Senator Abamoro. A National Assembly correspondent, Tejesu Adoye, reports on this.
Nigeria currently faces harsh economic challenges and the impact is felt on a daily basis. Prices of commodities and services are on a rapid increase and Nigerians are finding it difficult to keep up. Recently, a pay TV provider, MultiChoice Nigeria, announced an increase of about 13.3% in its subscription fees. This has led to an uproar among its subscribers as they complain that the hike has become a regular occurrence with no tangible reasons ever given to justify the hikes. Now the Senate is adding its voice to the matter and urging the pay TV providers to be more sensitive to the plight of their customers.
MultiChoice has again raised the cost of its DSTV and GoTV bundles, stating them as follows. DSTV Premium, 21,000. DSTV Compact Plus, 14,250. Compact, 9,000.
There's no regulation at all. These people increase the fees payable on this service at reckless abandon. They do that whenever they like, without considering the service, the quality of service they're providing to Nigerians.
I support that, their fees or whatever, should be scaled downward. And at the same time, there should be a surcharge to make sure that Nigerians also benefit in another way.
The Senate has constituted a 7-man ad hoc committee to carry out a comprehensive investigation into how other countries are billed by the pay TV service providers.
All these things that we have listed, Ministry of Communications, NCC and so on to do, I think we should investigate them. They should also come to our committee, as well as the operators. Let's, at the end of the day, be able to say this is the kind of pay system that Nigerians should pay.
Nigerians may soon heave a sigh of relief over the hike in pay TV tariff that has gotten the attention of lawmakers. Pay TV providers will soon be forced to introduce a pay-per-view model of subscription as against the month-to-month prepaid model currently in place. From the National Assembly, Tijesu Adeoye, TVC News, Abuja.
The National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control says it has attained the coveted maturity regulatory level 3 on the World Health Organization Global Benchmarking Program. This makes it the third country on the African continent to be on this level. Director General of the agency, Mojisola Adeyeye, made the disclosure to journalists in Abuja. Kemi Balogun reports.
The World Health Organization benchmarking program is a method deployed by the global body to assess the maturity level of national regulatory authorities. For Nigeria's Drug Control and Regulatory Agency, it has come a long way to get to this point on the global map.
In June 2019, WHO came to NAFDAC physically to start the benchmarking process, and out of the 868 recommendations, we were able to make over 600, and we had 147 left. They told us that we have attained maturity level 3. That was 25th of February, but that this should not be announced until we see the letter.
All recommendations got cleared by October 2021, making Nigeria the third country on the African continent to achieve this feat. With this, the country's capacity of vaccine manufacturing has now been heightened.
Whatever we do in Nigeria today is accepted globally because of this achievement that we've been able to achieve, to announce today. The government of Nigeria has supported us in terms of investing in strengthening our regulatory capacity.
Without maturity level 3, we will not be able to manufacture vaccine. That is the first immediate benefit. Now we can manufacture our own vaccine because NAFDAC is stronger. And we are building the vaccine lab now in Oshodi. By the middle of the year or early third quarter, that lab will be ready.
The WHO Global Benchmarking Tool maturity levels of the global medicines regulatory authorities range from 1 to 4, with the best level being 4.
The regulation will be reviewed every 3 years by WHO, and NAFDAC would want to attain a level 4 within the next couple of years. Kemi Balogun, TVC News, Abuja.